7 o'clock p.m. Our police explorers are not with us this evening. They have FCAT exams. So we will have Pastor Luis Candora from Our Father's Dream to give us our prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance with Councilwoman Waldman. Would everybody please stand?
Amen. Let us pray. Our Father in heaven, we came here today, Lord, to release your words of grace and peace upon this place. Hallowed be your name and your kingdom to come, so that the good fruits comes to this city, so that the release of your Spirit come to be freely in these homes, so that the release of your Spirit comes to be freely in the businesses of Homestead. I declare the spirit of obedience of Christ Jesus himself, Lord, to be abundantly in this place, so that from the highest office to the newest citizen of the city of Homestead, abide under your rules, abide under your kingdom. Let your will be done on earth, let your will be done on Homestead, so that in heaven, just as it is in heaven, your will be done here on earth, Lord. Give us your daily bread. Forgive us the bread that comes from heaven. For man shall not live from bread alone, but from every word that comes out of the word of the mouth of God. Forgive us our debts, and forgive our debtors, and lead us not into temptation to be our own gods, full of pride, selfishness, and lies, but deliver us from the evil one that is in us and the evil one that is around us for your glory, so that the city may know and the rest of the world may know that Homestead is a city for your kingdom. Padre nuestro que estás en los cielos, Señor, hoy venimos aquí como una asignación profética, Señor, para que tu nombre sea santificado, para que tu reino venga a nosotros con los frutos que esta ciudad necesita, desatando tu espíritu, Señor, dentro de las casas y dentro de los negocios, para que hoy, Señor, Homestead sea declarada una ciudad de obediencia al señorío de Jesucristo. En el nombre de Jesús, Señor, que tu voluntad sea en Homestead como es en los cielos. Danos hoy el pan de cada día, pero danos hoy, Señor, el pan que sale de tu boca, Señor. Llénanos de tu presencia. Que hágase tu voluntad. Líbranos de la tentación de ser nuestros propios dioses y de ser llenos de orgullos, vanagloria y mentiras, así como te pedimos que tu gloria invada esta ciudad. En el nombre de Jesús, let us say, amen. Digamos amén.
Amen. Please join me as we pledge allegiance to our great nation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mayor Bell?
Here.
Vice Mayor Burgess?
Here.
Councilwoman Lobos?
Here.
Councilman McCormick?
Here.
Councilman Nelson?
Here.
Councilwoman Sierra?
Here.
Councilwoman Waldman?
Here. Additions, deletions, deferrals? We just have...
Mayor, Councilman President, the agenda was revised, but there's nothing in this agenda to be discussed.
Thank you very much. Special presentation, Hispanic Heritage Month celebration presentation, Councilwoman Sierra and Councilman Lobos.
Good evening, everyone. As you may have noticed, there are 21 flags that adorn our dais this morning, and it's in celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month, which is in October. We had the pastor do also his prayer in English and in Spanish in celebration. And tonight we have a special guest. I don't know where they are. Where are my little dancers? They're there?
They're outside.
Oh, they're outside? If we can ask them to come in, I guess. These students are from West Homestead Elementary School. And they will be doing a dance known as La Quebradita from Colombia. Let us welcome the children to the stage, please.
Thank you very much. That was wonderful. We now have the FCAT school grade presentation with Councilwoman Sierra.
It is a great blessing when we can continue celebrating the victories of our schools. Tonight we have 7 additional schools that have either improved a grade or maintained a grade, and I would really like to recognize them this evening. I would like Ms. Robin Sandler, principal of Keysgate Charter School, to please come up. Keysgate has continued to maintain their A grade, and we thank you very much for all you do. I need Mr. Raul Gastavilla, principal of Air Base Elementary. And faculty and children, parents. As most everyone is aware, Air Base Elementary also maintains its A grade. Thank you very much for what you do for our children. By the way, Air Base, this is the 8th year in a row. We have Ms. Carcel Morris, principal of W.A. Chapman Elementary, which went from a C to an A. Okay. Pictures, can you put this back there? We'll get it to them. We have Ms. Maria Acosta, principal of Pesco Elementary, that went from a B to an A. Oh, okay. Redland Elementary, Ms. Corey Rodriguez, principal, that maintained their A grade. Thank you. Ms. Prudis Mingo from West Homestead Elementary, who maintained a C grade but has had great improvements this year, and we expect a lot greater this year from them. Thank you. And last but not least, we have Ms. Ofelia Alvarez. I don't know if she's here. Oh, there's someone here for her, for Somerset Silver Palms, that went from a B to an A. Sometimes I get asked, how easy is it to bring up a grade? These principals can tell you that it's not easy to bring up these grades. It's also not easy to maintain them, and that's why we celebrate all the victories that they have had and all the victories that we're expecting in the near future. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for everything you do for all of our children, as many of you have many Homestead students in your school. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councilwoman Sierra. Congratulations to all the schools. We now have a plaque presentation to the Department of Education, 2009 Teacher Ambassador Fellow, Dr. Adewale J. Alonje, Homestead Middle School. Councilwoman Sierra. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Oh.
Thank you so much for being here with us this evening. It is absolutely my honor to be able to present this award to Dr. Alonje, right? He has been selected as ambassador to the Ambassador Fellow Program, which is now in its second year, the affirmation that teachers, by their frontline role in the national education system, bring a unique perspective to the development of our national education policy in the competitive knowledge economy of the 21st century. 30 teachers were selected in 2009 out of a pool of 1,300 across the United States. That's it? 13 teachers. Oh, it says 13 teachers, and Dr. Alonje was one of them. And he's right here in our backyard, as he is a teacher at Homestead Middle School, and we wanted to make sure to celebrate this as well. Thank you.
Good evening, the Mayor and the Council. I'm very glad to be here tonight. This great country is about opportunities. That's what brought me here from Africa 25 years ago in search of that opportunity. And I'm hoping that in this economy that we are in, we give our students the same opportunity. It's a very competitive global economy, and education must be a very important factor in that. I'm hoping that the community of Homestead Middle School and our country will work together to make our students competitive in this global economy. And I pledge my support in that direction. I'm honored to be here, and thank you so much for this honor. I hope I represent my profession with pride. Homestead Middle School. Thank you.
Oh, sure.
Thank you, Councilwoman, and congratulations again. We now have the Wings Over Homestead Air Show presentation with Colonel McCulley, Homestead Air Reserve Base, and the Vice Mayor John Burgess.
Thank you, Mayor, Council, Mr. Manager. It gives me great pleasure to bring Colonel McCulley here tonight, as he is bringing one of the premier air shows in the United States of America right here in our own backyard on November 7th and 8th. And he's been working relentlessly for months now. Him and his staff have been going full tilt ahead to bring this great product down to here and this great show for us. And I just wanted to give him some airtime tonight to give their final plans and to sell themselves a little more, even though they really don't need to sell themselves. When the Thunderbirds are coming to town, everybody wants to be there. So without taking too much more of your thunder, Colonel, thank you for all that you've done and all that you're doing to bring this great show to Homestead. And I'll let you give your sales pitch.
Okay, thank you. Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Colonel Mike McCulley. I'm the Mission Support Group Commander at Homestead Air Reserve Base and also the Air Show Director for this year's Wings Over Homestead. We just wanted to come down here to the Council and see the Mayor and everyone to talk about what's happening. We're about 3 weeks away now. Again, as the Vice Mayor mentioned, we have the Thunderbirds coming, but there's a long list. If you go over to our website, wingsoverhomestead.com, and I've also passed out some cards. There's also some placards or large signs that kind of look like this. They're in the back of the room. That anyone who would like to put that in a window throughout the city and the county, but we'd like to get the word out to everyone. Our media campaign is right now in full swing. We'll be seeing radio, TV, and other information going out to the public as we get closer. And about a week out, we'll see more of that. But to give you some updates of what we're doing so far, if you look at our website, it lists the acts that are coming, but we have over 100 aircraft coming at this time, including the Thunderbirds, as I mentioned, but the B-2, F-18 demo team, the F-15 demo team, the Heritage Flight, the Geico Sky Typers, the Army Sky Soldiers, the 101st Airborne Screaming Eagles, and the list goes on of the acts that we have. Over 6 hours of flying that's going to take place on November 7th and 8th. Now, the gates will open up at 9 o'clock in the morning. We ask that everyone try to get there early for parking. We have over 9,000 parking spots on the base, and then we're also using the land surrounding the base to park individuals. We're estimating the crowd to be around 100,000 people this first time, and as it being the first air show in 17 years here put on by the Air Force, it's going to be quite an event. And during the day, you'll see from 9 to about 4:45 when the Thunderbirds finish their show, every kind of airplane that we could possibly get our hands on is coming, including different capabilities that the F-16 and other aircraft can do, and a lot of pyrotechnics. You'll see things exploding on the airfield that we're excited about, that we're bringing to this air show. So again, we have a small flyer you'll see around the base. And you'll see this around, but also we're putting these out and about over Chrome Avenue is going to be put up, and the City of Homestead has been wonderful helping us out with that. Also, Miami-Dade County has been putting our flyers out and assisting with their support for the air show. So it's been a real team effort this last 9 months putting this together. General Binger, on behalf of General Binger, he is inviting everyone out to the air show, so get there early, 9 to 5, both Saturday and Sunday, the 7th and 8th, and we look forward to seeing everyone there. Okay? Thank you.
Colonel, I just wanted to mention that I went ahead and put the air show on our Facebook group page, and the response has been absolutely huge of people that are coming into town again, that they used to live in Homestead and they remember the air show as a child, and they were pleased that we put the air show with so much time that they've been able to make arrangements to be here that weekend. So I wanted to tell you, I don't know if you have a Facebook, but if you do, you can go on the City of Homestead, Florida group page, and then the event is posted there. And Eric Hoffmeyer from your offices has assisted me in inviting people, and it's been huge, really huge.
Yeah, we're getting a great amount of response emails, asking all kinds of questions. Like I said, get there early, and there's we were really excited about it. And we've also got our dates for next year, which is the 6th and 7th of November, 2010. So we're trying to make this an annual event and a fixture back into the community, and we're just excited about this open house at the base and letting everyone know that we're here, and we're here to help.
And where can we get some of the posters so we can put them at the community clubhouses that we have?
I've got some here if you'd like some, and also just please call, either go to the website and send us an email through the Public Affairs section, or you can give us a call, and there's a website, a telephone number on the website that you can call, and we'll be happy to make sure you get one.
Beautiful. Thank you very much.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Thank you, Colonel McCoy, and thank you, Vice Mayor, for your attendance at the meetings.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. And the Colonel didn't mention it, but they have a act that they almost have guaranteed for next year that's of equal stature as the Thunderbird. So they're bringing great things and trying to continue with great things down here. So
is that the Blue Angels? Do you bring the Blue Angels next year?
We're crossing our fingers.
Okay.
We'll know at the International Council of Air Shows in Las Vegas in December if they're coming or not. But right now, everything looks good.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, Vice Mayor. We now have the Officer of the Month presentation for August 2009, Giovanni Soto and Councilman Tim Nelson.
Let me see how big it is.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Mr. Vice Mayor, City Council, Mr. City Manager. I'm Captain Tom Foglia, retired from the department now. I'm on the reserve force. We have Captain Randy Chong here, and Sergeant Jeff Rome, who is Giovanni's supervisor. On behalf of the awards committee, I'm pleased to announce that he's the Officer of the Month for August 2009. Officer Soto started out as a reserve officer with the department, and later became a full-time officer. He's been nominated, that's been since 2005. He's been nominated for Officer of the Month 3 times and received it twice. He's also been recognized as the Officer of the Quarter in Miami by the Kiwanis Club of Miami, which is a rather nice honor. His statistics for the month of August: he arrested 10 individuals, 4 were charged with felonies, he handled 49 calls for service, and 26 of those were self-initiated. And he also wrote 9 traffic citations. Hopefully none of you received the traffic citations. So. I'm just going to go over some of the things he did for the month. August 29th, he was dispatched to an armed robbery call involving 3 subjects. He got the description over the police radio, he responded to the area, and he did locate 3 individuals meeting that description. Once he got his backup officers on the scene, a pat-down of one of the subjects revealed a firearm. The subjects were positively identified by the victim, and all 3 were charged with the robbery. Excellent job on that. On August 21st, he responded to an in-progress burglary call. When he got on the scene, there was a woman outside the house yelling that her husband was trying to detain the individual that broke into the house. And apparently the subject had armed himself with a pipe and tried to hit her husband with it. Officer Soto quickly went into the backyard, was able to help the resident get the subject into custody, and he was charged with armed burglary on that case. On another case, he was dispatched to a local supermarket, reference a suspicious man in the women's bathroom. He was able to locate the individual. He also found two young girls that had actually been in the bathroom and saw this guy in the stall. He was arrested. On August 9th, understand he's on afternoon shift, and you're really going call to call. But there have been some robberies in a particular area of town, and he was able to get a little free time that evening and actually set up a surveillance on his own. He saw a couple subjects that looked suspicious. When he attempted to approach them, they split in different directions. He was able to locate the one subject who had a firearm in his possession. So again, another armed subject was arrested. He does a great job continuously with the department. His supervisors depend on him, and he leads his squad in statistics almost every month. So again, with great pleasure, he's our recipient for Officer of the Month, August 2009.
On behalf of the Mayor, Council, and Manager, this plaque is presented to Officer Giovanni Soto for being selected Officer of the Month, August 2009.
Thank you.
Along with the plaque is a gift package. Let me read from the local businesses here in the city. Awards Incorporated donated the plaque. The City Attorney, wife Sorota Helfman, donated $100. First National Bank of Homestead, $50 savings bond. Community Bank of Florida, $50 savings bond. Ferguson Jewelers, $75 gift certificate. Broadway Subs, two $10 gift certificates. Havana Joe Cigars, $25 gift certificate. Creative Threads Store on 505 North Chrome Avenue, free off-duty polo. Blake Chevrolet, a $300 value lube oil filter and car detailing. Captain Car Wash, a free car wash, $20 value. Mita Jensen, 2 memberships to the Homestead Community Concert. Dinner for 2 at Maya's Creole Cafe. And McLean's Forest, a $30 gift certificate. Thank you.
I want to thank the city mayor, city manager, and council members for this, and also my supervisors, Sergeant Rome, Sergeant Trad, Lieutenant Kent, and Major Kennedy, and the chief. So thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. We now have the 2009 Public Power Week proclamation presentation with Councilwoman Wendy Lobos.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Mayor and Council. Ms. Barbara Quinones, as Director of Electric Department, may you come up and accept this proclamation. This is our 23rd Annual Public Power Week, and as Chair of Enterprise Funds, I have the pleasure of presenting this to you. This is whereas we, the citizens of Homestead, Florida, place high value on local control over community service and therefore have chosen to operate a community-owned, locally not-for-profit electric utility, and consumers and owners of our electric utility have a direct say in utility operations and policies. Homestead Energy Service is a dependable and trustworthy institution whose local operation provides many consumer protections and continues to make our community a better place in which to live and work, as well as contributes to protecting the global environment. Now therefore be it resolved that Homestead Energy Services will continue to work to bring lower cost, safe, reliable electricity to community homes and businesses, just as it has since 1916, the year when the utility was created to serve all of the citizens of Homestead. And be it further resolved that the week of October 4th through the 10th be designated the 23rd Annual Public Power Week in order to honor Homestead Energy Services for its contributions to the community and to make its consumer owners, policymakers, and employees more aware of its contributions to their well-being and how it makes their life powerful. So now there I, Wendy Lobos, on behalf of Linda Bell, Mayor of the City of Homestead, declare the week of October 4th through the 10th, 2009 to be designated as the 23rd Annual Public Power Week. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you to the mayor, council, and the manager. And most of all, thank you to the members of the community that we serve. The electric utility here from the city of Homestead is part of the community. And I'm happy to accept this on behalf of our group. We have a wonderful group of employees. Some of them are in the back of the room. You guys raise your hands. And we are going to continue to strive to make improvements in the service and the products that we provide to the community. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We now have the Dick Conley Memorial Football League presentation with Councilman Lobos and Councilman Sierra. Oh, I just skipped Melvin. You're special, you get to go last.
If I can have the coaches and the representatives from Dick Conley please join us up here. For those of you that do not know, Dick Conley Memorial Football League has been around for 35 years. Currently, they have just under 500 children this football season. They've done amazing things with the few resources that they have had in the past. Both Councilwoman Lobos and myself have our children at the league, and are really, really grateful for everything that you do. You do the other part, or you want me to read this? Certificate of Recognition. This is for your wall. The certificate is awarded to Dick Conley Memorial Football League in recognition of 35 years of leadership and commitment to the children of Homestead. The City of Homestead salutes you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. And as Councilwoman Sierra mentioned, we do have both of our sons playing football. Now, my son's 13 years old, and he's been playing football since he was 5. So we've kind of grown up together with the Dick Conley Football League, and I've seen it explode in the number of youth that participate in it, and it's just a very family-oriented event. The number of years that we've been out there, now we are partnering with the Orange Bowl, and the only thing that prevents the tournament games from coming down to Homestead is that not the stadium field, but the field outside, which Dick Conley uses, does not have a scoreboard. And so for 2 years now, we've been fundraising, and I believe that you have accumulated close to $1,000 that Dick Conley is going to contribute to that. Best Buy has come forward and said that they would also contribute to this expense, around a little bit over $5,000. And so what we wanted to do, Councilwoman Sierra, myself, Councilman Melvin McCormick, Mayor Linda Bell, and Councilman Tim Nelson, is we wanted to contribute to the scoreboard from our PR funds. And so public-private partnership, we're going to get the scoreboard up. And we also had some good news at the last council meeting. Mr. Shahada told us that we have just received a grant, a little bit over $100,000, that we will now be able to have bathrooms on the side of Dick Conley football field. And that doesn't sound like a big deal, but believe you me, it's a big deal to have bathrooms out there. They're going to replace some porta potties out out there. And on top of that, we're also looking to install more parking spaces because we definitely need them out there. So we are in the middle of football season 2009, but we have some great and exciting things coming out to the Big Conley-Harris Field Football League, and so we look forward to that next year and continue to partnering with you guys. Yes, Councilwoman Sierra is reminding me that we're also, I don't know if you've seen some of the baseball stadiums, and the bleachers have tarps coverings over them, so that way if the sun comes out and the rain, we're looking to do the same thing with some of the bleachers out in the middle of the field, out at Harris Field and the football field. So it's long overdue, and we are glad that we've come to this point where we're able to have some grant money, some private donations, some of our PR donations, and coming together, we're going to make it happen. So that's some exciting stuff happening.
Mayor, council members, Councilwoman Lopez, Councilwoman Sierra, since you're talking about good news, actually also we know one of the challenges there is the parking. Robert has some great ideas we're exploring, so hopefully very soon you will see additional parking in that very vicinity.
Mayor Bell,
That is definitely an issue over there. Excuse me, Councilman Waldman, please.
I'll be happy to donate from my PR account as well.
Great, so you have, thank you, Councilwoman Walker. Vice Mayor, no pressure now, Vice Mayor.
Excuse me, Vice Mayor, we heard that Councilman Waldman says, let's turn your microphone on, see if you're willing to step up here.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Glad to.
No pressure.
I'm Angel Gossman, and I sit on the board over there, and I've been over there for about 7 years. My son played with Wendy's whenever they were 5. I just want to say thank you. We have a lot of your children and grandchildren out there, and they deserve this. They work for it, and thank you. Thank you very much. Your coach.
Okay. I'm Coach Joe Burmeister, coach out there. I've been coaching for about 7 years, and I've been helping behind the scenes on the board to try to get this, not only the field, but the parent participation in the city and all this. This for us is huge because where we're trying to go to. So Nazi and Wendy has been great. They've been active with us out there, helping us, support us, proactive, asking what we can do, the things that we need. This isn't just for the kids, this is for the community. Best Buys come in and they want to support because that's their future of employees. So they've been great. Everybody here has been great, so we thank you very much.
Thank you. And now we have this, thank you very much. Oh, picture. Now we have the Southwest Scholarship Fund donation with the Kiwanis Club and Councilman McCormick.
Oh, I didn't know there was going to be such a big crowd today, so I didn't really prepare a speech. But they say that when you speak from the heart, it's the best way. I'm representing Kiwanis Club of Homestead. Councilman McCormick put this Southwest Advisory Board together, and the first thing, I was part of the council, and the first thing that he wanted to do was education, which to me is like one of the most incredible things that anybody could do. And he has been asking for donations from everybody. So as being part of the Southwest Advisory Board, because I did not live here, I was kind of put in a situation where I had to resign, but I'm kind of like a liaison, and I'm very proud because I don't even live in this area. So I had promised Councilman Nelson that I would, Councilman McCormick, that I would do everything in my power to try and get some funds for this scholarship because this is his baby. So I went ahead and as part of the Kiwanis Club, I asked them for a donation, and they have donated $500 to your scholarship fund.
All right.
This gentleman is incredible. He does not stop. This is going to, of course, the Southwest Advisory Board, but the schools are, what is it? So Homestead, South Bay, and Corporate Academy. So I ask each and every one of you, this is $500, but we need a lot more because this is all about the education of our children here in Homestead. Even though I am not part of this community, I consider Homestead my second home. So on behalf of the Kiwanis Club, I present you with this $500 check.
I would like to first say thank you to the Kiwanis Club of Homestead and also Annie's hard work and her dedication towards the scholarship fund and also the Southwest Advisory Committee. This money that we're accumulating for the scholarship fund, right now we're paying for 4 kids the first initial cost of 4 youth that's in school right now. And the board, we voted to expand to six youth. So for this school year right here, we're accepting the donations again because it's a recurring cost for the fees for the gentlemen, the ladies and gentlemen that's going off to school. Again, it's six youth this time. And we're expanding from Homestead, South Dade, and Corporate also to Miami-Dade to have a program that deals with high school teens. So this money is very beneficial to the youth. We are trying to help with offset some costs with initial things of going off to school as far as books, tuition, things of that nature. So anybody who's willing to donate, we are willing to accept. And I truly appreciate you, and I thank the Kiwanis Club, and I thank Annie again. Thank you.
Show them the check.
Show the money.
Show the money. Mayor, if I may, I have one more thing, if you don't mind. It's not on the agenda, but I represent Fabulous Women Doing Fabulous Things. It's a nonprofit organization that was born here in Homestead I call myself a professional volunteer. Started volunteering at the Community Partnership for the Homeless and became very involved in the community, as many of you know. And I started Fabulous Women Doing Fabulous Things because fabulous is in here, in my eyes. And forgive me if I'm a little nervous, but I would like to present a special certificate to a gentleman who has done so much for me through Community Partnership for the Homeless. On Mother's Day 2 years ago, before Mother's Day, my birthday is May the 6th, and it fell very close to Mother's Day. And I thought, oh my God, what a terrible thing to be a mother in a homeless shelter, not to have any support, and it's a very special day for me. So I said, I'm going to do something. I'm going to have a day of beauty for the mothers. I'm going to get volunteers to give me, like Beauty Schools of America donated their time and so forth. And I gathered a whole bunch of individuals to do a day of beauty for the mothers. And then I said, oh my God, I have no food. So I pick up the phone and I call Councilman Nelson. And I said, Councilman Nelson, and he said, what do you need? I said, I'm doing this project for the mothers at the homeless shelter. It's for Mother's Day. He says, what do you need? Tell me what you need. I said, I need a lunch. So there were 26 women. That was the year before last. And he put together a gourmet meal for those ladies, for those mothers, and their families, because it wasn't just the mothers. It was their whole family. That was in 2008. This year, I made the same call. What do you need? It was incredible. And I just wanted to thank him so much because it may not be a big deal to a lot of people, but it's a big deal to the ladies at the shelter. Being there on Mother's Day, they're all devastated, and they get this gourmet meal with lasagna, bread, everything you could ever imagine, a gourmet lunch for each and every one of them. So I'm taking the liberty of presenting Councilman Nelson with this certificate of appreciation in recognition for your continued support and dedication for the Mother's Day of Beauty 2008 and 2009. I just want to say one more thing. He's very quiet, but he does so much, and people really don't realize the things that he does behind the scenes. He's very shy, but he's a wonderful person.
Thank you, Annie. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Wait, I want a picture.
Thank you. I want everybody to look around the chambers tonight, and I want you to look at all the art that's on the wall. Take a look all around the room. This is called the So Be Sober Traveling Art Exhibit, and I see that we have Adrian Lopez in the back. Adrian, he's with Defiant. So we are proud to have artwork in the council chambers from Defiant So Be Sober Art Contest. So Be Sober is an awareness campaign focused on the dangers of underage drinking and underage binge drinking. It was created in 2005 by Defiant, which is drug-free youth in town, to bring attention to the growing use of alcohol by minors. And last year, I formed a coalition with other female mayors, and we did the Mom Mayors to Fight Underage Drinking. And it has been a really wonderful success, and we've even been successful in passing legislation in the state to stop and fight underage drinking. So students in Miami-Dade and Broward County middle and senior high schools are asked to submit artwork as part of the contest reflecting their vision of the dangers and consequences of underage drinking. Each year, the contest winner has his or her work displayed on billboards or roadside banners throughout Miami-Dade County and Broward. So this year's So Be Sober Art Contest runs from October 1st to January 15th, 2010 in the Homestead area. The art contest is open to all students going on right now in Homestead Middle, Campbell Drive Middle, Homestead Senior, South Bay Senior, Corporate Academy South, and Keys Gate Charter Middle School. So I hope you'll all take advantage and all the children will make some type of So Be Sober art. And so make sure that you take a look at that before you leave this evening. Thank you very much. Thank you to Defiant. And I know we usually wait to the end for this, but before we go on, I have a few birthdays that I would like to announce right in the onset when more people are here. Tonight is Councilwoman Nazi Sierra's birthday. Then we have, on the 29th, Councilwoman Wendy Lobos' birthday. And then we have on the 31st, Councilwoman Judy Waldman's birthday. And then we have Tim Nelson on the 30th. I feel really strange that I have a February birthday up here, but, you know, that's it. And Vice Mayor, you had something?
Yes, Mayor. I know that we've already done deletions, deferrals, and additions, but in light of some things that have come forward tonight, I went to the applicant on tab 10, item 6A, and thought that it might be best in their interest if they deferred, and they wish to defer at this time to the next meeting. And I also would like to put that motion out that we defer this tab item until the next meeting, and I'd like to see if I could get a second on that.
There's a proper
Vice
motion.
Mayor, I'll second it.
There's a proper motion on the floor and a second that this be deferred to the next meeting in November. I trust that they're going to work, hopefully they can work
Yes,
this
ma'am.
out together.
I thought it would be best if they went to the descending letters that we had here to that group, and maybe they could work out some kind of their differences or misunderstandings that both sides may have of one another, and they agreed that that would be a plus for everybody involved.
It's a good idea. Thank you very much, Vice Mayor. It's been properly moved and seconded. Any comments or questions? Dates, time certain?
Time certain would be November 16th.
Time certain is November 16th. Thank you very much. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes carry. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. I'll now entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll move the consent agenda.
I'll second that motion.
The consent agenda has been properly moved and seconded. Are there any comments or questions on the agenda? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the ayes carry. Thank you very much. Public hearings, ordinances, land use items.
Please be advised that the following items on the agenda are quasi-judicial in nature. If you wish to comment on any of these items, please indicate the item number you'd like to address, and the announcement regarding the quasi-judicial item is made. An opportunity for persons to speak on each item will be made available after the applicant and staff have made their presentations on each item. All testimony, including public testimony and evidence, will be made under oath or affirmation. Additionally, each person who gives testimony may be subject to cross-examination. If you do not wish to either be cross-examined or sworn, your testimony will be given its due weight. The general public will not be permitted to cross-examine witnesses, but the public may request the council to ask questions or staff or witnesses on their behalf. The full agenda package on each item is hereby entered into the record. Persons representing organizations must present evidence of their authority to speak for the organization. Further details of the quasi-judicial procedures may be obtained from the clerk. In accordance with Section 2-591, of any lobbyist must register before addressing the council on any of the following items. At this time, council members must disclose in the ex parte communications concerning any items on the agenda. At this time, the clerk will swear in any persons who wish to testify in a quasi-judicial item.
Please stand and raise your right hand. I state your name. Hereby swear or affirm that the information I present shall be the truth and nothing but the truth. So help me God. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Item?
Yes, item 6B, tab 11, is a final order of the City of Homestead, Florida, granting a certificate of use to allow the operation of a hotel with on-premise sale and consumption of alcoholic beverages located at 2855 Northeast 9th Street, as legally described in Exhibit A, and providing for an effective date.
I'll entertain a motion for approval.
I'll move it, Mayor.
I'll second it, Mayor.
The certificate has been properly moved and seconded. Are there any comments or questions from members of the council for staff or through the applicant? This is a public hearing. Would any member of the public like to address us at this time? Would the applicant like to present?
Thank you for having us. We're very proud to have opened our...
Can we have your name and address for the record?
Yes, I'm sorry. George DePero, Prime Group, 4651 Sheridan Street, Suite 480, Hollywood, Florida, 33021. We're very proud to have opened the Homestead Hampton Inn Hotel about 6 weeks ago. We are fully operational. Rooms go for $109 to $119 a night. Just in time for the holidays, so there's no reason why your mother-in-law has to stay with you this year. Just come to the hotel. We're very proud of it. It looks like no other Hampton that I've seen, and we did a lot of research. We'd like to say, and some of you have been there already, it's very much above par. And a big part of our business is events and meetings and stuff like that. That requires a liquor license, and it's an important factor for when you have your Christmas party or your Hanukkah party this year. You know, you're going to want to be able to have a drink on. So we're very proud to have brought this to Homestead, and this is just a big part of the business that we do, is the events, and it's how we bring people to Homestead to stay in our rooms, is the facilities that we offer, the internet access, the business office, et cetera, et cetera. We have meeting rooms, conference rooms, et cetera, et cetera.
Thank you very much. And by the way, it is an absolutely beautiful, beautiful hotel.
Thank you very much, Mayor.
Yeah, we were at the grand opening. It was just beautiful. By the way, my mother-in-law is at my house right now. Nobody said that. But I want her there. If Mom's watching, I want her there. Any further comments or questions from any members of council? We'll now close the public hearing. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilman McCormick?
Yes.
Councilman Nelson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sierra?
Yes.
Councilwoman Waldman?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Burgess?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lobos?
Yes.
Mayor Bell?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you.
Moving on to tab 6C, item 6C, tab 12. It's a final order of the City of Homestead, Florida, granting a certificate of use to allow the operation of a restaurant with on-premise sale and consumption of alcoholic beverages located at 650 Northeast 22nd Terrace, Suites 112, 114, and 116 in the Portofino Plaza, just south of Campbell Drive, further granting a waiver of the location requirements for the on-premise sale and consumption of alcoholic beverages as legally described in Exhibit A and providing for an effective date.
I'll entertain a motion for approval.
I'll move to approve the certificate of use.
I'll second. The certificate of use has been properly moved and seconded. Are there any comments or questions from members of this council or any questions for staff? This is a public hearing. Are there any members of the public that would like to speak or address this item at this time? Thank you very much. We'll now close the public hearing. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Nelson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sierra?
Yes.
Councilwoman Waldman?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Burgess?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lobos?
Yes.
Councilman McCormick?
Yes.
Mayor Bell?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Next item.
Yes, moving on to legislative matters. The next item is tab 13, 7A. It's a second reading of an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Homestead, Florida, amending the Southwest Neighborhood Master Plan and further amending the regulating sub-area map for approximately 357 acres on property located east of Southwest 187th Avenue, Redland Road, west of US 1, south of Southwest 320th Street, Maui Drive, and north of Southwest 328th Street, Lucy Street, as legally described in Exhibit A and providing for an effective date. This is second reading.
Is there a motion to approve the second reading of the Southwest Master Plan?
I move to approve the second reading of the Southwest Master Plan.
I'll second it.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Before we get the staff report and go into public hearing, I received some phone calls today that a lot of people were being called and being told to be here tonight. And one of the people that were called and said that they were specifically told that the master plan was changed from the first reading, and that is absolutely not the case. I called the manager, we spoke, the city attorney. This is the exact same master plan that we approved on first reading, and nothing has been changed. And the calls have been going out all over the city, and I know it is coming from different campaigns as well, so I wanted everybody to be aware of that. But this is the exact same master plan that was approved on first reading. That being said, Mr. White? Mr. Manager?
Yes, Mayor, council members, you are correct. There have been no changes made to this document since second reading. It's exactly what was before you previously. The packet information is the same. Staff report, if you have any specific questions, myself or staff will be happy to answer anything.
Thank you. Thank you. Any comments or questions from members of council, from members of staff before I open up the public hearing?
Mayor Bell, if I may just have a comment.
Councilwoman Lobos.
Thank you. This has been, as I mentioned in the first reading and I mentioned in workshop, this has been a long process. We've had several public workshops, we've had individual meetings, we had the first reading, we have now before us the second reading. So I am going to trust the process. As much community input as we have had and we have allowed, that we have received all of the concerns that were from the reason why we brought the revision of the Southwest Master Plan in the first place, to address some of the concerns of the business people. So it's been a long process, and I am hoping, and I'm very hopeful, that all of the public comment has been taken into consideration, and that this is what we have here during second reading that will be just a completion of a journey that has been a little bit over a year now. So I look forward to passing this.
Thank you very much. Any other comments from council?
I have a comment there.
Councilman McCormick?
I'm happy to see us at this point. This has been a long time coming. From listening to the business owners and future developers, this was a big issue in trying to move the community forward with the metal roof policy and the mixed use requirements. It was hard for people to come in and develop in the community. So I'm truly happy to see us at this point right now to move this Southwest Master Plan forward.
Thank you very much. This is a public hearing. I will now open the public hearing. Anybody who would like to make a comment, please come to the microphone. Please state your name and address for the record. Thank you.
Mayor Bill, may I just say one thing? I'm sorry you didn't hear me.
Certainly. Councilman Waldman, go right ahead.
I had 2 phone calls today, and the phone calls that I received were questions as to whether or not if someone sold their property, would they still be able to use it for the same use as they had sold before. I called Mr. White, and he did answer a few of my questions, but I am interested to hear public comments. Thank you, Mayor.
Brian Judge, 260 Northeast 10th Street. I'd like to start off quickly thanking the clerk and the clerk's office. 4 o'clock today, I needed a copy of the master plan, and it was the website was down. She scanned it and sent me an electronic copy so I could look at it and critique it on the computer, which is much easier for me. She pretty much always comes through in those situations. So my comments tonight are, currently the industrial area is making money and providing jobs. Many business owners out there are trying to expand. With the limited number of uses allowed under industrial, this will be very difficult or impossible. So I would say, why stifle known good businesses for something that has yet to and may never materialize? All right? There are a host of other problems with the proposed master plan, ranging from trying to make 4th Street the main retail throughway to poor transitions from the industrial sections to the residential sections, and an excessively high maximum density of 20 units per acre. Right. One specific example is the maximum 6-foot walls for industrial areas. This is unreasonable by half, especially with code enforcement cracking down on materials that are visible over the fences. Now, Tim, your business in its current configuration would not fit into this master plan. And Melvin, any business that comes along that wants to compete with you would have higher startup costs than your business had in this area, right? Now, I wanted to give a street-by-street critique, but the availability of a high-resolution map and time didn't allow that. But I'll give you one specific street. Southwest 2nd Street, west of 2nd Avenue, is currently designated C170P2. Now, if you drive down that street, you'll see that the only way to reach that, to reach the criteria for that designation is to either eliminate the houses on one side or the businesses on the other side. So, you know, it's almost as if the people who made this master plan didn't drive up and down the streets. So I'd like to encourage council today to turn down this master plan and to go back to the process and actually listen to what some of the business owners say. Thank you very much.
Good evening. Morgan Cronin, 211 North Chrome Avenue, Homestead, Florida. I'm an attorney with some clients who have businesses in that same industrial area that was just referred to, and much of those comments are consistent with what my clients feel about the master plan as it is now. They have their particular businesses are essentially the junkyards that are in the Maury and Redland Road quadrant of that industrial area. There's 4 or 5 of them in there. And the list of permitted or conforming uses under the industrial use do not include the operations that they have, although they are, as non-conforming uses under this, they'd be able, as I understand it, to continue using, running the businesses as they are. They would be unable to expand in any appreciable manner the operations that they have. The list of uses that are permitted include some of the businesses that are in that area, including the ice plant and some lumber and building materials places. They would be, I presume, permitted to expand their operations because they are conforming uses. However, by leaving some of those businesses in the conforming use list and leaving others out, they are unfairly limited in their ability to run their businesses. They are profitable businesses. They employ a number of people in the Homestead area, and the feeling is that, consistent with what the previous speaker said, that these are good operating businesses with the potential to expand and be a benefit to the economy of the city and to help other people find jobs and increase the tax base, and they feel strongly that they have the opportunity staring them in the face to expand their businesses, but would be prevented from doing so by the ordinance as it reads. I believe in the last reading, I got minutes from the last meeting from the clerk, and I appreciate that very much, prior to the meeting, and those issues were addressed, I believe, by some of the members of the Planning and Zoning Board and some other people, that there should be a reconsideration of putting the existing uses onto the list so that they would be conforming and they'd be able to expand and increase the operation and be more profitable. For their own benefit, of course, but it also is something that would benefit the city. Some of the purposes that are described in the actual plan itself are that This should be for the purpose of improving and benefiting the growth of the community. And this would have the exact opposite effect on an industrial area, specifically for those businesses who are my clients, but for other businesses as well up and down that entire industrial corridor. So we also ask that the commission deny this plan.
Thank you. May I ask who's your client?
The junkyards include Joe's Junkyard,
Okay.
the Flamingo Junkyard, and then the other related junkyards near that. They're auto recycling and auto parts.
So your specific concern is with the junkyards?
Yes, Judge.
Okay.
Your Honor, I'm sorry.
Thank you. Thank you. James, would you please explain, clarify? I'm sure you can give some clarification to the concerns. I also, like Councilman Lobos, I don't know how many public hearings have we had on this item and public workshop that Councilman Melvin McCormick conducted. We've had so many public meetings on this that this is just, to bring this to this at the 11th hour again is just unbelievable. So would you please elaborate, Mr. White?
Certainly, Mayor. I think it all boils down to the simple issue that there are some uses that are in the Southwest neighborhood, some current existing uses that are industrial in nature that are non-conforming right now and who are able to operate and sell their business. But like the gentleman stated, if you're non-conforming, one of the whole goals behind non-conforming is that you eventually want to get rid of those uses in the future, or they're not going to be able to expand. And that's the case with all nonconformities in the city, not just the Southwest neighborhood, but any nonconforming use that's located throughout the city. And the list of permitted uses that are currently in the master plan or in the land development regulations for this master plan in that sub area are pretty expansive. Of course, there are some heavy industrial type of uses that are precluded, that are not there. I think your planning consultants and your staff had both analyzed that and looked at it and thought that some of the more intensive type of industrial uses and things such as recycling centers or junkyards were not appropriate in the master plan and shouldn't allow new ones to be there. You can take into consideration those existing, but not allow new ones to be there. And I use the junkyards as an example. There may be a few others. I don't know offhand, but that seems to be the crux of the issue.
Thank you, Mr. Manager.
Mayor, council members, as you mentioned, Mayor, earlier, this is I think the first time the master plan was adopted by council. It took about 3 years, including all the charades and public workshops. This one, some property owners who were suffering practically for the changes that happened in the area came to us, and we worked with them, and the process has been going on for about a year to come to the second reading. My recommendation to you is to adopt it exactly the way it is today. And if the market conditions or anything change in the future, we could always look at it and come back with changes in the future. But if we go for for one or two issues, we have to stop the process and go back and redo everything. We will be spinning our wheels in the same place for a long time.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. So, Mr. White, my understanding, though, with the non-conforming use, that as long as that particular business or use is in existence, they may continue. It's just that we can't allow more of the same, and if they cease to exist or they cease to operate, then that becomes a conforming use. Is that correct?
That is correct, Mayor.
Okay. So it doesn't threaten the existing businesses that are non-conforming. They may continue. Okay.
Yeah,
Thank
can I
you.
ask a question?
Certainly, Councilwoman Waldman.
So what if Flamingo Junkyard sold their business to someone else? They couldn't possibly sell it then as a junkyard because they'd only have 180 days to conform, correct?
Well, no, they would be able to sell it to a subsequent property owner or purchaser of that business, and that subsequent purchaser or property owner would be able to operate Flamingo Junkyard as it's existing and operating today. They would be precluded from expanding that operation any further, making it more intense or making it bigger in any way, shape, fashion, or form. Where the days come into play, in your current zoning land development regulations, whenever you have a non-conforming use, and someone abandons the property or they close up shop, then the clock starts ticking where you lose your legal non-conforming status. And when you lose that status, any new use has to comply with the specific zoning regulations of where you are, or to a particular business that's listed under the permitted use list. By adoption of this master plan and the land development regulations, you're actually making that time period a little bit more liberal for these uses that are non-conforming in the Southwest neighborhood, and you've expanded that time frame for those uses beyond the 90 days that you allow in your regular code. And then there's also a built-in extension period as well that they can avail themselves of to the Director of Development Services. So it's an administrative extension that's available. So if you happen to be in the process of selling your business, or you happen to close down, or for whatever financial reason or difficulty, it's taken into consideration that there would be several months where you would be closed, but you're not going to lose your status, and you'll be able to reopen as long as you're in that time frame. Now, you can play with that time frame if you want, but generally speaking, it's much more gracious with respect to allowing you to close up or abate or abandon on this master plan than in your normal land development regulations.
Mayor, one last question to Mr. White. Mayor. Oh, please. Just out of curiosity, how many properties would not conform? Do you know how many existing businesses would not conform?
I don't think your staff's done that analysis. I don't think that number is out there.
Okay.
The number is out there. I can't tell you what it is, and I don't exactly know what those properties are.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Mayor.
Councilwoman Lobos and then Councilwoman Sierra.
Thank you, Mayor Bell. I'm seeing here under the background that on June 5th, 2006, the council approved the initial Southwest Master Plan. We came on board and started hearing from the business owners that this master plan that was approved on June 5th, 2006 was not friendly to the existing uses. It's almost like they created a master plan and did not go into the community to see what existed there. And so we started this whole process to respond to what initially happened on June 5th, 2006. Those existing uses, non-conforming, and so there were several things, aside from what Councilman McCormick has mentioned, aside from the rooftops being metal that are required and the porch. We try to address all these issues. Now, starting from public comment, including to, I know Mr. Rhodes spoke to me individually, to our meetings, I tried to make a list of everything that needed to be fixed from what the previous master plan had gone wrong, June 5th, 2006. At the first reading, Mr. White, we reviewed some things. I know that I made the motion to include Healthcare Institute Center because as it was, it wouldn't be allowed to continue. And so I made the motion to take it out and to specifically state that the Healthcare Institute Center be included so that it would continue to operate. I am trying to include all of the uses and all of the problems, and so we did ask at the first hearing, how do we rectify this? How do we move forward? I thought that by second reading, after the many, many meetings that we've had, that we would already have a completed list, that everybody would be happy, because like I stated, this was an existing Southwest Master Plan. We took it upon ourselves to revise it, change it, and fix it. The key word there is fix it. We didn't want to go back to 2006. We didn't want to go back to the old Southwest Master Plan. We wanted to put together a document that would fix and work with what is existing there. So all that's being said, my goal is to make it work with what is existing there. I know at the last meeting I asked for clarification. There was a little bit of confusion on some of the items. I made the motion to go ahead and include some of the things that needed to be included. So I'm looking for guidance here because I thought we had everything. My point is to make it work and to make it work with what's there.
Thank you. Councilwoman Sierra.
I, too, was quite confused and actually went and spoke to Richard Wise. I thought we had done all the changes that had been requested of us. I'm curious as to have the applicants that you were speaking of, did they attend any of the workshops that were in place? Were they here during the first reading? Had they been a part of the process, is my question.
I can tell you that they have been a part of the process. Exactly what their participation has been, I can't say because I wasn't involved in it at that time. I can only say, and I would just like to comment briefly, that the comments made about the expansion of the time allowed for continuation of a use after the change of ownership doesn't in any way address their concerns. To expand it from 90 days to 180 days has no relevance to the fact that their opportunity to expand their business, to run a business, a profitable enterprise, which is what they're there for, is being strangled by this non-conforming use. And the list of uses could very easily have included them, but the stated purpose, I believe, if I'm not misquoting over there or summarizing, is to ease them out, force them out of there. We don't want them to grow. We want them to go away. And it's inconsistent with the idea of being able to operate a business in a free enterprise.
It's my understanding that, you finished?
Yeah.
It is my understanding that with the non-conforming use, as long as that business is in existence, the business may exist. And they can even, as Mr. White stated, sell that business and stays Flamingo Junkyard. They just cannot expand.
Correct.
Right. We have three of them over there, right? The 3 junkyards over there?
At least.
Right. And that's basically been the only complaint then from the junkyards.
But with all due respect, I believe that minimizes the point of a business that cannot expand is really a business that doesn't have the opportunity to participate.
But it is the point. And thank you very much. I allowed you to come back the second time, but thank you very much. Any further final comments?
Madam Mayor, members of council, good evening, Mr. Manager. My address temporarily is 183 108th Southwest 108th Avenue, Miami. I own property here in the city of Homestead, and I am temporarily renovating a condominium in Kendall. My concern is not only with the junkyards and the changes in the industrial usages in the city of Homestead, it's the loss of jobs and the loss of potential for these industrial people to expand. And if they're not allowed to expand, the city of Homestead is not going to be able to be allowed to expand. And there are many articles have been written, especially today, regarding how to sustain a community. People are a lot more educated than me on community sustenance, and that Homestead needs an industrial base. And that it is my opinion as a concerned resident of the city of Homestead that these folks who operate in the industrial area be allowed to expand their business. We have available here a pool of resources to carry out these blue-collar works that need to be done. It'll help the city expand. It'll increase our tax base. And I really believe that the understanding that you have spent time on this needs to be rethought for possibly the next decade with regards to growing the city of Homestead through industrial expansion. Thank you.
Yes, my name's Philip Formel, and I own a junkyard here in town. I live at 730 Northwest 9th Court here in town, and I've been in Dade County for about 22 years, and I've been operating metal salvage yard and in Homestead for 15 years, and I just recently purchased the junkyard, a small junkyard, the one I was renting for 15 years. If we want industry to move into Homestead, they are going to produce waste. Somebody's going to have to deal with it. We're set up right now. The economy right now, you know where it is, but if you go down toward the junkyards, things are booming down there. We're moving around.
The only thing that's going on in this town is a junkyard. I don't know if you knew it or not, about a year ago, this country lived on the scrap that we send to China for about 6 or 8 months. This country was living on the scrap. I don't know if you noticed that. It knew that or not. This is like we're the toilet. You want to throw your toilet out of your house? That'll be real smart. Dade County threw theirs out. You can't put a junkyard in Dade County. Florida City threw theirs out. Send it up to Miami, 30 miles. Or have our waste people take it away. Maybe the city wants to get into the junk business. How about the poor people that need a starter or a tire? You want to send them up to Miami? Shut down the junkyards? You're not going to put it anywhere else.
We're not sure.
Sir, let me let you finish your comments because I don't want to take your seconds.
Anyways, I just think I think it should be rethought. Apart from me having my whole life savings into this, I don't. And about the workshops, over again and over again, I see this guy. Why didn't they come and talk to me about it and say, hey, this is going on? Send me a notice. If I have a, okay, I'm going to get done. You want me to get done?
Finish. Please finish.
If I have a tree that's outside my yard over there, code comes over there in a second, sends me a letter. Or 2. Comes and gives me a fine. And people know I'm over there, running a junkyard, and you're going to tell me that I can't, I'm going to be restricted to grow?
Okay.
Workshop, I was not informed about any workshops. I think I should have been. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. White, Ms. Kamali, would you clear, I think there's some misinformation and misconceptions that people are going to be having to close their businesses, and that's just false. No one's going to be having to close any businesses. So would you please clarify that once again, Mr. White? Okay, sir, please do not speak from the audience. You had your time at the microphone. Thank you. Mr. White?
Yes, Mayor, council members, just and for the public, if you do have a non-conforming property or a non-conforming use that's located in the southwest neighborhood, you will be allowed to continue that use. The only preclusion is that you won't be able to expand on that use, but you're allowed to operate and continue operating and can sell to a subsequent property owner or purchaser of that business or that property and operate that use.
So nobody's telling anybody they have to close their business down. Nobody's telling anybody they can't hire people. Nobody's telling anybody the junkyards are going away. They're just saying it's a non-conforming use. They can continue the use. They can sell it. They can continue operating. It's just an existing non-conforming use. They just can't expand it, make it larger. Correct?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Lobos first, and then the manager.
Well, Mayor Bell, my question was answered.
Okay, Mr. Manager.
Mayor, council members, just the way the master plan exists today, assuming you don't vote for it today, it puts them in the exactly same position. So if you vote in the master plan today, it's not changing their status at all.
It's the same as the original master plan.
Exactly the same.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Manager. Mr. Nelson.
Yes. One of the things in my business is that kind of upsets me is when I wanted to expand, the county said no. And so I understand where they're coming from. Their business is doing good. They want to expand. Can we make a motion to add them to the list of so they can expand?
I don't know if that would be permissible.
Yes, I mean, legally, can you do it? Yes.
I'll make that motion,
You can do
Mayor.
that.
I mean, it's something that is creating jobs in Homestead, and it's something that, you know, it's the worst thing when you're a business owner to have somebody say you can't expand when your business is doing good. You know, I think it should stay in that area. It shouldn't, you know, go from all over the, you know, an area here, an area there. It should, you know, stay in that section if they can expand in that area. But I think that's what it's about is like you said, his business is doing good right now. We need to accommodate and try and help out businesses that need the help right now.
Thank you, Councilman Nelson. Mr. Manager.
Mayor, I just want to raise a red flag. If it's going to be a motion tonight to just go ahead and allow them to expand, it's not that simple, because we have to look at the properties adjacent to it and go and look at the future land use in that area. It's not just simply expand, because you have to put boundaries and you have to come up with land use regulations for us to be able to allow it. If you don't vote on it tonight, then you could defer it until future time so we can come back with a recommendation. But my recommendation to you tonight is to approve it.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. We've been in this process, I think it's been about 18, it's got to be 18 to 20 months now. It's been a long time we've been in this process. Councilman McCormick had a public meeting. I was very, very well attended. We have corrected so many issues that we have with this master plan. I am very comfortable with the master plan the way it has been presented. Nobody has to close their business. Every business can continue. Even the non-conforming uses can sell and continue as non-conforming. There are many junkyards, and they are necessary, and they are needed, absolutely. And so nobody's saying close your doors. Nobody's saying don't hire. But I am very comfortable. All this work that we've done, all these many, many months, all these public meetings and discussions and first reading, and I'm very comfortable with the master plan the way it is. We do have a motion and a second on the floor at this time, but we already have the existing motion. So
it's a motion to amend.
Yes, we have a motion to amend the existing motion to add this particular junkyards that are here tonight.
But I do think that if I mean, it's easy to say, and as the manager pointed out, a little difficult to implement, because if you do want to do that, then I would suggest you not do it this evening, because just adding it to the list is probably more than you want to do, because that means it would be allowed. And I think what you're trying to do is something much more narrow, which is for the existing businesses. So I don't recommend, I think you need to clarify exactly what you're saying, and then if you want to do that, I think the manager's right. I mean, we need to go back and look at all the adjoining properties and see where, this would happen. But I really think if you want to do that, you need to move to defer this for further study on that issue as opposed to amending it.
Well, let me hear from Councilman Lobos first. We have other people that want to have comments on the floor before we have another motion. Councilman Lobos?
Mayor Bell, I just want to echo what has already been said twice by the city attorney and the city manager, that if we're going to move in this direction, I mean, I would have felt more comfortable if the discussion would have happened 2 meetings ago or the first reading. I agree, it's not just as simple as just adding it on like we did with the health center. And if we're going to move in this direction, I would recommend that we defer to the next meeting, because I want to know what's north of that. I see that there's property there. I don't see it in color because it's not given the use. I want to know what's north of that, and I want to know if it's an expansion that they're looking to do, what does that mean, to where and how, and can it legally be done? And so those are all answers that I want, that I would like before I move forward to support Councilman Nelson's motion.
Councilman McCormick.
I have two questions. One question, if we go to the defer process, what's the timeline of looking at getting the master plan in front of us again? And number two, the second question is, if they buy the property that's adjacent to the property they have right now, will they be able to come before the council if it's not zoned for a junkyard? Will they be able to come before the council and ask for a variance to get it changed and zoned to where it could be a junkyard? Or an expansion to a junkyard?
Well, you have the sub-area map that map's lined out. That's all the property that's in blue is the industrial property. So if there's another property on there that is something else other than industrial, and they want to come back and change or expand, any change to that map or any change to the master plan has got to come back through a whole process to you by ordinance to be amended. It's not a simple variance request to change. I mean, for all intents and purposes, this is as though you're looking at a mini future land use map or a mini zoning map for this master plan area.
I have another question.
Right, and I think the point that I was making is that if you add this to permitted uses in the blue area, then it's permitted in any of the blue areas.
That means any of the blue areas throughout the city.
The blue area, James? It
would
be just the blue area within this sub-area.
In the sub-area.
We're only talking about the industrial uses which are denoted in blue in this Southwest Neighborhood Master Plan.
And if you're really talking about doing it in a much more limited way, then you're really talking about creating another whole subcategory, which would be those blue areas where these uses are allowed, and that is, that certainly cannot be done tonight because you'd have to go through each piece of blue property and decide which ones you want to allow these junkyards in and which ones you don't.
Mayor?
Councilman McCormick, Councilman Lobos, Vice Mayor Burgess.
Honestly, I'm looking at the map, Mayor, and to the council, and there's really not too many places to expand. On Redland Road, what you see, can I go up there and point it out? I'm looking at
It's on.
Mr. Microphone.
This point. Red.
I'm looking at the map right here. This is, if I'm not mistaken, this is Redland Road right here, correct?
Yes.
And this is the recycling place up in this area right here. This is the only place that really you can expand unless you're trying to go all the way down Redland Road and turn out into industrial. And that really doesn't make sense. It's not conducive to what we're trying to do in the Southwest area. And all of this place is already industrial, so I don't see where you're trying to go with the industrial in the Southwest area. You have everything that's in blue is in industrial. I'm trying to figure out where you're trying to move, where you're trying to expand industrial to. If any of the junkyards are here, if you can answer that question, I truly appreciate it. You have all of them right here by Playlock Oil, all has been turned into industrial. You have the area on 4th Street, that's industrial. When you go by the junkyard, you have, I think there's Joe's junkyard here, you have another Flamingo right here. You have where the junkyard, where there's no outlet right here. I'm trying to figure out where you're trying to expand the junkyards to, or the industrial to.
If I could hit that a little bit. Now, when you're talking about expansion...
Excuse me.
Right.
Mr. Judge, you've already had your public comment time. We asked for the representative from the junkyard.
All right.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Well, I'm a high, heavy user.
Touche, Brian.
I'll do my best to answer that. I think that the idea is that the expansion is not a geographic expansion, not looking to expand into more real estate, but merely to expand the actual volume of the business, some of the actual things that are done in the business. Some of the things that are required are larger buildings to accommodate more scrap metal or more buildings, and possibly to accommodate more auto parts. When auto parts are being recycled, they can't be left out in the open. They need to have buildings in which to house them. And if they want to expand the operation, do more volume, handle more cars, handle more scrap metal, they've got to have facilities in place, buildings and infrastructure of a limited nature in order to handle that sort of expansion of business. And that's what is precluded, I believe, by not being on the list. But they're non-conforming, therefore they're not allowed to expand any of the facilities. No new buildings, no higher walls, none of the things that would be essential to increasing the volume.
Thank you. Thank you. Vice Mayor, and then Councilman Sierra. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm so
Go
sorry.
ahead,
Council-
Vice
No,
Mayor.
no, Councilman Lobos.
Vice Mayor.
No, go ahead, Wendy. I've got to wait on the attorneys anyway, so go ahead, Councilwoman Lobos.
Okay, so now we have clarification of what expansion means, because I thought that the same way Councilman McCormick, when you say expansion of your business, I'm thinking to the west, to the east, to the north, to the south, and as I see there, I see houses to the north, I see more industrial to the east, west, south, I see residential, and so I'm not understanding how the business is going to expand. Now, within your confined property, your boundaries, which you own right now, expansion of property to you means that you're going to add more volume to it. Because I'm not an expertise in your industry, what within the Southwest Master Plan does not allow them to put more volume into their four walls of which they own right now, if that's what expansion means?
We do not provide for junkyards or recycling centers as a permitted use in the industrial sub-area, which is blue. So if you are a business which is existing, you're considered to be a legal nonconformity and you can continue to operate the business. The problem is that these junkyards want to take it up a notch. They want to intensify the use in the operation, to do a larger, more intense recycling center on the property. It's not necessarily a geographical expansion, it's a more intense expansion.
Mayor Bell, I have one more question. Councilman McCormick, if I can just ask one more question. Through the mayor, what authority oversees this whole production? Like who gives a permit? Is there anything outside of the city of Homestead that these businesses have to go through to have this kind of volume increase?
I would say yes and no, but I think the representative from the recycling or junkyard could probably best answer that question for you. But depending on the nature and the scope of the operation, in addition to required city permits, you could have a number of environmental or state permits that would kick in as well on the property that would have oversight and oversee these types of uses.
Since we're not able to answer it, do you know the mayor, through the mayor, if that can be answered, please?
Just stay there.
Try not to abuse my presence here. My response is that I don't know definitively if there would be additional, for example, the county's DERM requirements, if there was some increase in the volume, but I believe that the existing permits that they have are adequate for all the things that they want to do. The problem is that, as was just spoken about, to add another building, to increase the size of a building, a storage shed, a facility like that requires that they either be on the list in order to be conforming so that they can expand and intensify that. The outside issues we're not concerned about. We're concerned about the ground level problem, which is a prohibition of any expansion right here in Homestead, because we'd never even get to those issues. If those issues became a problem, then we'd deal with them down the road. We can't even get to that unless we're on the list as conforming uses. So what we're asking is to, and I like the idea of amending it, we're not looking to torpedo the entire master plan, but just to allow these businesses, as they are, to expand and to put in the facilities that they need to. And he's correct. What we're looking to is intensify and increase the volume of business there, which I think is a good thing for the community. But as far as any outside state or county permitting and things, I don't think anything that they have contemplated would require that. Does that help?
Thank you, Mayor Bell.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Burgess, Councilwoman Sierra, and then Councilman McCormick.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, would we be able to put any limitations on what their expansion would be if we were to go with that, so that they would be allowed to go with certain types of buildings or to take it to a certain level up, or what kind of limitations could we put on them?
You can put almost any type of limitation you want on them. Again, couldn't do it tonight. I mean, we'd have to do a study and see what would be reasonable restrictions within that category. So it'd be the first step would be to see in what of those blue boxes you want to allow these. You want to make these conforming uses if you want to do that, and then if you decide to do that, what are the limitations within those sections? But this is a project to do. I mean, we can do it, but it's a project.
Do we know exactly how many pieces of property fall under this problem that these gentlemen are...
Well, these are just the junkyards. I can tell you that
How many we have out there by any chance, Ms. Cooper?
Not off my hand, no.
Okay. Any of the gentlemen in the audience, just to give everybody an idea how many pieces of property we're dealing with out there, how many? 5 of you. Okay.
There's 5 junkyards in total in the area. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, that's all, Mayor.
There's only one. There's one nothing else. Thank you. Thank you. Councilman Sierra?
Yeah, I was really proud of the way that we had handled all of this with all the workshops that we did and really inviting the public. I think that one of the things that concerns me is when the gentleman mentioned that he did not receive notification of the workshops that we did. During those workshops, it was quite positive, the response from the businesses that were there, and they were very appreciative that we were doing this. I'm not sure what occurred with the notices for your businesses to come on and join us. During the first reading, one of the things, the impression that I was under, and I was sharing with Richard, is that, I'm sorry, Mr. Wise, is that we had included existing businesses to be able to move forward and expand if they needed to. And I know that in the back and forth just now, there was some concern about expanding the business geographically, and I knew that was not possible, because just driving out there, there's really no space for you to do it. But to be able to grow your business from within your parameters is something that, it's the American dream, is being able to continue doing business and providing more jobs. And so I'm really concerned, as the Vice Mayor just requested, if we just make an amendment to existing businesses to be able to continue and expand, there's no way that we can do this simply. It really has to go into this process. Okay.
Mike, did you want to answer?
It goes back to what I originally said, Mayor and Council. If we are going to exempt these properties, there are certain guidelines, even within their parameters. If they expand vertically, let's assume, or intensify the property there, it's going to have effect on other properties adjacent to it. I don't want to pretend I'm planner tonight, but we cannot really just by simply amending or exempting them and consider them a confirming use, adopt the plan tonight. I don't advise you to do so. If we are going to be working on this, I actually asked for 2 months extension until December, so we can work with our planners and come up with guidelines that are going to serve the community. I know when going back to the times when Rick Stouts and planners work on this, there was a reason why these are non-conforming uses.
Thank you. Councilman Melvin McCormick, and Councilman McCormick, I want to hear from you on not only questions, but what is your opinion on this? What is your what do you think is the best interest? Because I know that we requested this, but you were the one who really took it, spearheaded it, worked in the Southwest. I was at the Southwest meeting, and there must have been close to 100 people there. So I know that those notices went out because they were there, and everybody was very, very happy. We've just gotten raves about the Southwest Master Plan revision. So what do you think, Councilman McCormick?
Honestly, I wish they would have been here throughout the workshops, but situations arise and they weren't here.
Sure.
But from my understanding, you are trying to get some where you can go vertically as far as, because I think it's a code where if you're so many feet over the wall, then you get cited and things of that nature. So what you're trying to do, you're trying to get it where you can have your recycled goods up over the wall a certain amount of feet for a certain amount of time where you won't be fined, and then you can still do business as usual. And even if we do it that way, it's still, we're looking at a two month process. And if we go to the 2 month process of trying to get that rectified, then we have people that's waited for the whole year. If they're trying to sell their property, now they can sell their property if we pass this tonight. But for them to wait another 2 months, because, like I said, I don't know what the situation was, but you weren't here when we did the workshops, where you could have stated this then, and we could have corrected it. But my situation, or me being on council, is really not to benefit myself. It's for the people of the community and also the business owners. So what I will do, I would like to put a motion out there that we do let the staff and the attorneys go through the master plan again and try to revise where we can let these gentlemen who run the junkyards, where we can give them a revision, where we can try to help them out as much as we can. And we have to have some clauses in there that if you do or a certain amount of feet or over the wall or whatever, you have a certain amount of time to get it cleaned or cleared out, or you'll receive a fine or be cited anyway. So we have to put some things in place that way. You just can't stockpile trash over a long period of time because we're still a community and you have people passing by. So we're trying to create a beautiful homestead. And like I said, with what you're trying to do, it makes it real hard, but I do try to support, the local businessmen, again, with the jobs and all of that. So I'm in a situation where I really want to see this passed, but then I really want to help you too. So if we can go back to the drawing board one more time and try to revise this to where it's conducive with the junkyard owners and the recycling people, then I'm willing to make that happen.
Mayor.
Thank you very much. Councilman Nelson.
Before anybody says, let me ask this question. I want to get this approved too, because we have worked very hard on this. If I withdraw my motion to amend, can we approve this tonight and then get with them to look at this and amend it?
Can we do that? Can we approve it tonight, and then can we amend it?
Yes, you can approve it tonight. It would become effective. It's an ordinance, so it would become effective tonight upon your approval. And then the land development regulations as well that follow this master plan. And then we can always, or your staff can always look at this issue and come back with an amendment. That amendment might be that we have to create a new sub-area, a more intense industrial sub-area, and map it on certain properties. I'm just, for your benefit, I'm just sort of telling you that, because it's going to require us to go back, amend this map, amend some of the text, amend the land development regulations. So when we come back before you, you will have a new ordinance, amending both the master plan and amending the land development regulations.
Got it. And could we do it as something as simple as a special use exemption? Would that apply here or not? That they would have to actually apply for. Like if they're going to expand, they would apply for the special use exemption with the existing master plan.
We could probably, I mean, when
to make it more simple.
When you do this, if we proceed down the path of doing an additional sub area, that's going to have a whole list of criteria and regulations, just like these sub areas do. So you can be specific with regard to those items there.
Thank you, Councilman McCormick. I'm comfortable that we go ahead and approve it tonight, and then we get the staff with everybody to work on creating something that's amenable to everybody, to work on their expansion. But go ahead, because there are so many people who are waiting on this approval tonight. There are so many people who have been working with the city and working, and they are waiting on certain things to get this approved. I don't think it's fair to make them wait another 2 months. But that being said, that we can approve it and still work with them. Now, I think that's a level of comfort the council was looking for.
Yes.
Councilman Sierra?
That's exactly what I was going to state, because I know that there are many people that are waiting for this to be approved to be able to either sell their property or do something with their property that they haven't been able to do in the last 18 months that we've been working on it. But knowing that we'll be able to approve it tonight and then come back and revisit to bring on the other exemptions, because I definitely feel that it's absolutely important and imperative that these businesses have an opportunity to expand and make sure that you guys can continue being productive and doing what you need to do. But I also don't want to hold back all the other businesses that are waiting for this to take place. And it's been 18 months. And you know, really want to make sure that everybody is covered, and never wanting at any point to hinder what you guys want to do either.
So my suggestion, Madam Mayor, would be that the council members Nelson's motion be converted into a direction to staff to study this issue and bring something back to you
as a recommendation.
As a recommendation or some options. So that would, and you maybe could vote on that, and then you could move on, approve, and then you could go ahead and approve this. Why are you smiling?
Oh, because I was going to use my Robert Rules of Order workshop that you so gently reminded us last time. To include, the original motion was to approve the amendments to the Southwest Planned Urban Neighborhood Zoning District Regulation Master Plan. And so what I wanted to do is I want to move to include to recognize that we're giving direction staff to look into amending and perhaps looking at a sub-area within the industrial area in the Southwest Master Plan.
The only difference is because of the fact that this is an ordinance, we can't add all those. Under a normal motion, under normal Roberts, would you be allowed to do that? But because it's an ordinance, we can't add all those things onto it.
I think Councilman Lopez might want me to rule you out of order, but I won't. I think we have our direction. I think I think pretty much that we're going to go ahead. I think it would be the level of comfort that we are going to work with the 5 existing junkyards that are there, work with them, staff, but go ahead. I would recommend we go ahead and approve the master plan because it's really not fair for all those people that have been waiting for the last 18 to 20 months. So I believe the direction has been made.
I just want to make one more comment.
Certainly.
This was part of bringing this master plan back to us and relooking at it so we could work with the
Correct.
businesses out there. And, you know, like I said earlier, you know, the best thing is for a business is to expand because that means you're doing good. And when, before it said, you know, the ordinance said you couldn't, you know, as a businessman, I don't like anyone telling me I can't do it. So, you know, that's why I want to make sure we will get back to you and revisit this and add it in. You know, see what it is we can do to make this work.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We're going to close the public hearing.
One question. Just how long does staff think they need so that these people have some sort of idea that would be waiting on this?
I would say that you probably, and Sherry can correct me if I'm wrong, but just based upon us working on this before, and it's taken this long, but you have a document that's in good shape now, so we're looking at a very specific issue. So I would say probably a couple of months because you've got to go back, look at this particular issue, look at the maps. You know, I wouldn't tell you that it's going to happen next month.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Close the public comment. Any further comments from council? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman,
We're voting on the original motion to approve the Southwest Master Plan with the direction given towards staff that they're going to go ahead and take a look at the 5 current existing junkyards and come back with a recommendation to this council on how they can work with the expansion of these junkyards.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome. Cover that? Okay. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Waldman,
No.
Vice Mayor Burgess,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lobos,
Yes.
Councilman McCormick,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sierra,
Yes.
Councilman Nelson,
Yes.
Mayor Bell.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Next item.
Yes, moving on to tab 14. It's the second reading of an ordinance of the City of Homestead, Florida, amending the City Code of Ordinances by amending Chapter 30 zoning, Article 3, District Regulations, Division 23, Planned Urban Neighborhood District, providing for severability, providing for inclusion in the code, providing for conflicts, and providing for an effective date. This is the companion ordinance to the master plan and just basically puts into your code the land development regulations that you just approved in the master plan.
Is there a motion for approval?
I move to approve.
I'll second. The item has been properly moved and seconded. Any comments or questions from council? This is a public hearing. Any comments or questions from any member of the public? Thank you very much. We'll now close the public hearing. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Vice Mayor Burgess,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lobos,
Yes.
Councilman McCormick,
Yes.
Councilman Nelson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sierra,
Yes.
Councilwoman Waldman,
Yes.
Mayor Bell.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next item.
An ordinance of the City of Homestead, Florida, amending Article 2, Dangerous Intersection Safety of Article 18, Order for Vehicles and Traffic by amending Section 18-7, Definitions 18.8, Adherence to Red Light Traffic Control Signals, Section 18.12, Citation 18.14, Hearing before the Special Master, the City Code of the City of Homestead in order to increase the scope of the traffic control signal violations that may be captured by a traffic control signal monitoring device, providing for citation, hearing, notice, distribution via first-class mail, providing for severability, inclusion in the code, and effective date. This is second reading and public hearing.
I'll entertain a motion for approval on second reading.
I move to approve the dangerous intersection ordinance.
I'll second. The item has been properly moved and seconded. Are there any comments or questions from any members of the council for staff?
I have one comment and maybe a
Councilwoman
question.
Waldman.
I can't tell you the number of people that have come to me with pictures showing that they've been making a right-hand turn on red. Just Tom, explaining what the rule is. I mean, because you know, people think that they can just drive up, look to their left, and make the right-hand turn. Do they have to come to a complete stop before they make that right-hand turn?
Madam Mayor, Councilman, yes, you have to come to a complete stop before you make a right turn per Florida statutes. And with every citation that is mailed out, there's also a video that that person can watch
The pictures can't tell whether they stopped or they didn't stop. The video will, and you have to come to a complete stop before you make that right turn.
And it says on the citation where they can go to view the video?
That's correct, ma'am, with a certain login password unique to each citation.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Waldman. Any further comments or questions from members of the council? The public hearing, any members of the public would like to comment? Thank you very much. We'll now close the public hearing. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Lobos?
Yes.
Councilman McCormick?
Yes.
Councilman Nelson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sierra?
Yes.
Councilwoman Waldman?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Burgess?
Yes.
Mayor Bell?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
An ordinance of the City of Homestead, Florida, amending the General Employees Retirement Plan by amending Chapter 22 at Section 22.5101 of the City Code, definitions to change the definition of earnings to reflect the cost of living increases under Section 401A17, the Internal Revenue Code by amending Chapter 22 at 22.5112 of the City Code, maximum pension, to update and reflect the Federal Treasury final regulations under Section 415 Internal Revenue Code, providing details required by the Internal Revenue Service indicating option provisions applying by amending Chapter 22 at Section 22.5113 of the City Code distribution rules to update and reflect required federal law provisions under Section 401A9 of the Internal Revenue Code by amending Chapter 22 at Section 22.5115 City Code, subject to tax approval, to incorporate reference to current Internal Revenue Code by amending Chapter 22 at Section 22.5140 of the City Code Retirement Fund to reflect and reference Internal Revenue Code provisions on domestic relations ordered by amending Chapter 22 at Section 22.5170 of the City Code reflect direct transfers and rollers to update and reflect the applicable provision Section 401A31 of the Internal Revenue Code by amending Chapter 22 at 22.171 of the City Code qualified military service to update and reflect required provisions of the Heroes Earnings Assistance and Tax Relief Act of 2008 providing for severability, including the code and effective date.
I will entertain a motion to approve that colloquy.
I move to approve.
I second.
It's been moved and seconded. The one most important thing that you're going to want to know about this is there's no actuarial impact. In other words, there's going to be no cost, and that's the most important thing on this. Mr. Manager, do you have any comments?
Mayor, Councilman, I always feel tempted to ask Richard to repeat when it's this. We have the Petition Board Attorney, Ron Cohen, here to answer any questions.
Hi, Mr. Cohen. How are you?
Hi, how are you, Mayor?
Good.
I'm just here, I'm Ronald Cohen, I'm the lawyer for the GE plan. I'm just really here to answer any questions. This is a technical amendment to comply with changes to the Internal Revenue Code. No changes in benefits and no cost to anybody.
Yes, it's basically cleanup.
Cleanup.
Thank you. Any comments or questions from Mr. Cohen from council? Any comments or questions from any members of the public on this item? Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Cohen. Hope you enjoyed this meeting. You earned your money tonight. Roll call,
actually.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilman McCormick?
Yes.
Councilman Nelson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sierra?
Yes.
Councilwoman Waldman?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Burgess?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lobos?
Yes.
Mayor Bell?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much. That concludes all of the items on the agenda. We will now open the floor for public comment. If anybody has a public comment, they may go up.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, City Manager. My name is Yvonne Knowles. I'm Director of the Main Street Operation downtown Homestead, and my office is at 59 North Combe Avenue. I'm here under the category of beware what you ask for because you may get it. We were really very pleased to see the Dade Medical College come to Homestead and move in on the corner of 4th and Chrome Avenue. We were looking at prospective 150 students that would be working there, taking classes there, and then availing themselves of the downtown businesses. In the interim, the owner of Dade Medical College has bought up most of the properties that are owned by Mr. Stanley Levine, which means he has bought the antique mall, the bookstore, the Asian restaurant, and Fish's Jewelry, which is pretty much, if he follows through on his plans, we've been told, he plans on turning this all into a medical college campus, which we don't have official documentation on this, we don't have official word on this. We've been trying to meet with him. He hasn't wanted to meet with any of the business owners. We have some terrified people down there who have spent many years building businesses who are facing eviction. I speak of Adelaide's antique store in the antique mall. I also speak of the bookstore. That woman has really put her life savings on the line to build that bookstore up. She has been not given any kind of encouragement or reassurance that her business will be able to stay there. She's been told this gentleman wants a bookstore, but that it's more for his students and not for the general public. Now, I know that he has to come before you for licensing. He has to come before, I assume, has to come before planning and zoning for a business license. I'm just letting you know that the drumbeats on Chrome Avenue are gaining in momentum right now, and there's a lot of concern. As Director of Main Street, I just wanted to bring this in front of Council and hope that you'll support the independent businesses downtown.
Thank you, Yvonne. Allow us to look into this. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any other comments?
Kevin Sullivan, 1860 Southeast 6th Court. I just have one quick item to the council and the city manager. I spoke earlier this evening with the Public Works Director, and he was very informative. And my concern is the change in the bulk pickup. January 1st, we're going to a new schedule. He told me that he hoped to have the street identified on a daily basis by the middle of November. That seems fine. That's at least 6 weeks lead time. But I'd just like to ask that that should be the deadline for getting that notice out, not in quotation marks. So please, if we're going to inform the citizens in our area, we need to get the notice out. I know you've said that you're going to get plenty of public notice, you're going to put it in the utility bill and whatnot, but the actual street-by-street pickup, that once a month, needs to get out. Thank you.
They're correct. Thank you very much for those comments. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Lisa Spires. Our company is My Gym Children's Fitness Center, located at 30360 Old Dixie Highway. We've been waiting for about 10 years to come to Homestead. We're finally big enough, so the corporation finally allowed us. Our gym provides fitness for children 6 weeks to 13 years old. If you have children, you know there's not much to do down here, which I have too, and I've been driving to Pinecrest for entertainment. So we also offer birthday parties, parents' night out, mommy shopping days, drop-off for the stay-at-home moms. We offer a lot of programs for the moms group here. And I'm just glad to finally be open, and I hope you all come out and see what we have to offer you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Business from the city manager.
Mayor, Council, I have a few quick items to mention. Halloween in Homestead will take place Saturday, October 31st at Losner Park. We're changing the location this year, and it's going to be from 6 to 9, and it's going to be lots of fun. So we ask everybody who is going to come there to dress appropriately for Halloween. November 11th, City Hall will be closed and city offices will be closed. Garbage and trash schedule will be as usual. I'm sure some of you will be mentioning the skate park. I just wanted to tell you we have lots of kids registering, and it's moving forward well. I saw Tony Garcia here earlier. I want to congratulate him in being the president of the Florida City Homestead Chamber of Commerce. With this, I'm done, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. Right. Reports of Mayor and Council, Councilwoman Walden.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I can't find my sheet of paper, but I'll just do it from the top of my head. It's October again. Last time I'm going to remind you, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Very important that you get your checkups, and it's not exclusive to women. Men get breast cancer too. 1 out of 7 women are stricken with this disease. And it's amazing, just a self-checkup, your own self, checking yourself in the shower. It's amazing what people do find and say you can save your life for that. Of course, a mammogram, an ultrasound would be the better way to do it. I just met a lady last week, 28 years old, stage 2 breast cancer with 2 little children. So please, it's so important. And I just want to announce that the Little Angels, we're having a Halloween party the same night as the Boo Bash, but it's an adult party. It's at Schnebley's. The ticket pre-sales are $20, and I think it's going to be a really good time, and all the money goes to children with the physical and mental challenges. And I just want to commend everyone for running in the primary. Mr. Taylor's in the audience. Mr. Judge is in the audience. I want to thank you very much. It takes a lot of courage and a lot of sacrifice to run a political race. It's a tough time when people don't go out to vote, and that's what we had in the primary season. We had a very low turnout. So election is November 3rd. I encourage each and every one of you to exercise your freedom and go out and vote. And early voting is October 29th, 30th, and 31st. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Burgess?
Thank you, Mayor. I want to start by thanking all the 120-plus volunteers that came out for the Northwest cleanup. It was a great event. It was very, very hot that day, so I did learn one thing, do it a little later in the year. But we had 120 volunteers that came out, and we picked up over 3,500 pounds of trash from the specific areas that we went through. I want to thank Councilman Nelson, Councilman Sierra, Councilwoman, Sierra, Mayor Bell, Councilman McCormick for all coming out and pitching in that morning. I think it's a great thing, and I think it's things like this that need to be done and that help out the whole area and that. So I look forward to doing more of these in the future, but I will plan them when it's a little cooler. I want to thank Robert and all of his staff and everybody else here at the city who worked so hard getting that skate park open. We had the grand opening Saturday morning. The manager was out there. He wouldn't do the half pipe for us, but he was out there with his skateboard. And I just want to say that it's going to be enjoyed by many, and it's a great plus for the community. So thank you to Robert and Omar and the rest of the staff out there for getting that put together. I also want to tell Tony Garcia congratulations on becoming the chairman of the chamber. I want to thank the Speedway for another great weekend out there, bringing this championship stuff down here has grown. I think the attendance was up quite a bit, where a lot of other racetracks are suffering. The IRL came through here with their championship, and I think they were very happy with what was done out there. I know, unfortunately, it was hot there, but I want to say a great job to Public Safety for all that they did out there. There were a lot of people that were down that weekend, but the response time from the Homestead Police and the paramedics was unbelievable. And I just want to say thank you to Captain Chong and all the other people that work out there for making another safe event. There's a concern over on Palm Drive and where the fairways and farm life all come together. The county has proposed another traffic circle to that side of town, but thanks to Julio Brea, our Public Works Department guy, and myself and Julio and Captain Chong and Major Kennedy are all going down there tomorrow to try to talk the county into putting a stoplight there, or not putting a circle at all, because we don't feel that a circle is helpful at all. We feel, and most of the council have expressed themselves one way or another that I've heard of, that a traffic light is what we need to slow people down on that side on that particular highway, and to make that intersection safer. And with the new school at the other end of the road there, it's becoming increasingly more traveled, people getting in and out of the school. So we're looking to do away with that traffic circle, and I'll report on that next time back, but hopefully we will have what we're looking for taken care of tomorrow from the county. The Mayor's Youth Council is getting ready we've got a meeting coming up next Monday, and we're going to start gearing up for our holiday food drive, which will start the day after Thanksgiving again this year, and go until the Friday that the children get out of school for the Christmas holiday. We'll be looking for businesses, anybody that would allow us to put boxes in, anybody that wants to donate food, money, or anything like that, we'll be starting that up again. So we'll be contacting you here in the next couple of weeks looking for drop-off places, or if anybody would like to volunteer, they could call our assistance office at 305-224-4447, and Patty would be glad to take your name, number, and where you'd like the boxes put. Tomorrow, I'm excited as I go out again for principal for a day. I'm going out to Redlands Middle School, and I'm looking for, on Wednesday, looking forward to going out and seeing another one of our fine schools in this area and spending the day, or at least a half a day with the kids and the administration staff over there, so thank you. And I also want to say this will be my last meeting, and sitting here as the vice mayor, as I'll be thrown over to the wolves over there with Richard, and I just want to thank everybody for allowing me to sit here for the last 2 years, and I hope that I've done some good things for you. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Vice Mayor. Councilman Lobos.
Thank you, Mayor Bell. The Vice Mayor already covered a lot of the events that I was going to talk about, so I'm just going to inform you that under my business, Customer Service Task Force is taking a little bit of a break. It's going to be a couple of months so that I can focus on the Finance Committee and putting together the Audit Committee that I had presented at the last council meeting. So that will be coming in November. And I lastly wanted to thank Councilwoman Nazi Sierra for Hispanic Heritage Celebration, the beautiful flags that we see here around our dais. And we received an email instructing us to dress to celebrate the event. And I said, well, pretty much anything I wear is going to be Hispanic because I'm a Latina, so that's going to cover that. But I am wearing white and blue, which is the colors of the country of Guatemala, which is where I was born. And proud to be part of that and bring that heritage here and also combine it with my American heritage as I continue moving forward. Thank you, Mayor Bell.
Thank you very much, Councilman Lobos. Councilman McCormick.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I would like to first again wish the members of council whose birthdays are in October happy birthday. Enjoy your days when they come. And I couldn't attend the skate park opening this weekend. I had a sad occasion to attend. I lost a dear friend of mine, and to say how close he was one of the best men in my wedding. I had two best men, and he was one of those two. And he lost his life to violence. A lot of times we have things that occur in our life or around us that we don't know the reason of. And me knowing Corey, whatever I do from this point on, he wanted me to do it in memory of him and also to motivate and help the youth. So as a result of one of the gentlemen from his church, from St. Paul Baptist Church, Mr. Tomlinson, a longtime educator in our school system, and the minister or the pastor from St. Paul, they have initiated a community prayer day. And we started today, matter of fact, at 10 o'clock this morning. And we had 40 members, or 40 people that were there today. So what we were doing it every Monday at 10 o'clock, and we're going from place to place. This Monday, we're scheduling to do it at the new Ernestine Jackson Seymour Park. And then at that time, we'll figure out our next location. But we were trying to we're just trying to bring prayer into the community. That's a benefit, and I think that the people need to be encouraged by someone other than ourselves. So I thank the minister, I thank Mr. Tomlinson for bringing this to our community. And like I said, we had 40 people out there today, so I'm probably sure to get bigger. And to the family and friends of Corey, that was my close friend. And my prayer to the family, he had a lot of kids. He had 8 kids. So he left behind a legacy. I know he did what he was supposed to do, and God called him home. So again, to the family and friends, my prayers are with you. And to Ms. Glenda, my prayers are with you, too. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Councilman McCormick. Our condolences to you again. Councilman Nelson.
Thank you, Mayor. Okay, first of all, I want to wish Nazi a happy birthday. She's like a big sis. Well, by what, 6 days?
You're older. You're older.
I want to thank the police department for doing a great job at the race 2 weeks ago. It went off very smooth. It's kind of nice that they put them both together now, because now they get a little bit of training before the big one, next month. Many of the things we've all done have been touched on tonight. The grand openings, the park, the skate parks. Just want to remind everybody, please get out and vote. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councilman Nelson. Councilman Sierra.
Thank you. I just want to recognize we've got Danielle, the general manager of the Hampton Inn here, and I forgot to say hello to her there on my notes. I wanted to. tell her thank you and what a great job they're doing over there. And I heard the other day through the grapevine that Hampton Inn, as a national chain, is making this their standard for hotels. So if anybody's not been there, it is a great facility, and don't be scared to send people there. So thank you, Danielle, for all that you're doing over there.
Thank you. Now, my turn? Now, Councilman. Well, I just want to thank all of the gentlemen that have showed up with their guayaberas or cuaveras today in celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month. As a former teacher, we used to do great celebrations celebrating all 20 different Hispanic countries, and some of you may note that there are 21 flags in the front of the dais, and one of them is, of course, the United States, which brings us all together. I am dressed in red, white, and blue as my heritage. My parents are Cuban, but I lived in Puerto Rico, and I'm born in the United States, so I guess I represent all three flags today. So thank you very much for those of you that participated. It's special. If I may, Mayor, I've gotten several phone calls on, apparently there's been a rumor going around that this council has voted against a charter high school. And, you know, and in getting these phone calls and questions on this, I have to go back to the minutes, and the only charter high school that has come before this mayor and council was on July 20th, 2009, and that is the Mavericks in Education High School, and that was approved by all the 6 council members that were here that night. So I don't understand where this rumor that's coming around about us denying a charter high school has not occurred. So I went back into my minutes, and then one of the neighbors that called me and said, yes, you did. You disapproved or you didn't approve a charter high school at the Keysgate location. In speaking to city clerk and staff, Keysgate Charter School, the Oasis Charter School is what they're referring to, has not come before this council. And I think it's important for the residents to understand that, yes, on November 17th of 2008, there were several parents here that spoke during public comments about an Oasis Charter School from the Keysgate Charter School USA company. And what occurred was there was public comment about how if we didn't approve another K-8, then we weren't going to approve their high school. But this was public comment. This was not an agenda item. This was not something that came before this council, and it was just a discussion. At that point, there had been a couple of meetings with staff and city manager and a couple of council members, but this was never an item that was put before us. Going back a little further, trying to figure out where this rumor may have come up, back in July 16th of 2007, before this mayor was mayor, she was a councilwoman, and the rest of this council, most of this council was not on this dais, there was talk about converting what is now known as the Gateway Environmental Education Center into a K-12 charter school. Now, the discussion continued that night, and there was a change or a request of an NOPC, and those initials, Richard, stand for exactly? Notice of Proposed Change, to be able to use this property for that K-12. At that time, the only 2 members that voted yes on creating this change was Councilwoman Bell at that time and Vice Mayor Losner. All other council members voted against it. So I still don't understand where the rumors are stemming from, that a charter school, high school has come before us and we've disapproved it. And going back through all the minutes, this is going back to July 16th of 2007. The last time that it was November 17, 2008, and all of these are public records. So the residents can feel free to go online and pull this up and realize that a charter high school has never come before us and been denied. The only charter high school that's come before us was Mavericks in Education, which was brought before us on Monday, July 20th, 2009, and the 6 council members that were present that night approved it unanimously. So I'm hoping that this answers some of the questions as far as a charter high school is concerned. I do want to let the public know that Personally, I have met with a couple of charter school companies that are looking at Homestead to bring other charter high schools. These are, and to my understanding, city manager has had some discussion as well. We are working very, very hard to make sure that we offer the top quality educational choices to our residents. Some of the wonderful things that we've already done, and it's not just me, and I would never say that I did this. This is an effort, a group effort. I have Ms. Patricia Fairclough McCormick in the audience, which is part of my education committee, Mr. Kevin Sullivan in the audience, which is part of my education committee. This is a community effort. Oh, Adrian Lopez is back there too. I can't forget him. This is an effort that was not just council, not just the mayor, but a huge endeavor from this committee, and we have done a couple of things. Just briefly, if I may, we have gone, in '07, we had 3 A schools serving our children. We have now 11 A schools. That was done in 2 years. 2 years. And we have gone from 6 failing schools to 0 failing schools within our city limits. Are we done? By no means are we done. There's no way. There are a few D schools, there are a few C schools that we are continuously working with. This is an ongoing effort, but to be quite honest with you, in 2 years to make these huge gains is an absolute opportunity to continue improving so that our children in the city of Homestead have the best quality educational choices, and families can choose, do I want to put them in a private school, do I want to put them in a public school, or do I want to put them in this charter school? The choice will be there. You don't have to send your son to school A or B because it's the only good school. You as a parent will be able to determine what school you want your child to go to. So I just wanted to make that clarification. The number of calls have been quite numerous on this high school issue. I hope that I've been able to clarify that this evening, and thank you, Mayor, for giving me an opportunity to do that.
Thank you very much, Councilwoman. I would like to announce that we have some appointments. We have, we have some openings. We have an opening for, we have an appointment. We have for the Education Committee, Leda Morales. I would entertain the motion to approve Leda Morales to the Education Committee.
I move to approve Leda.
Second.
The item's been properly moved and seconded. Any comments or questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes carry. Thank you. Congratulations, Leda. Tourism, or should I say, get ready to work. Yeah. Tourism Committee, we have Stacy Palmer and Daniel Torres. I'd like to entertain a motion for both of them.
I move to approve.
I second.
The item's been properly moved and seconded. Any comments or questions on those two for the Tourism Committee? All in favor say aye. Aye. The ayes carry. Thank you. We have 3 seats open for the Homestead Community Relations Board, and I actually spoke to 2 people last week that will be submitting applications. I'm excited about that. Homestead Community Image Advisory Board has 1 seat open. Planning and Zoning Board has 3 seats open. And we have 1 non-resident Education Committee seat open as well. So please spread the word and submit your nominations, submit your resume or bio to our clerk, Mrs. Shedd. We would greatly...
We have 4 seats open for
we
planning
do,
and zoning.
that's right. We have another seat that just opened. We have 4 seats open. Also, I also want to give a congratulations to all of us on the opening of the skate park. It's just really exciting. I mean, I told the story before how right before the last election in '07, how Nazi Sierra's son Michael asked me, would you bring us the skate park? And I said, I'll work on it. You know, I can't promise, but we'll work on it. And I shared it with the manager, and the manager shared it with Robert Landon, and they all made it happen. So congratulations to us all. That was just a great, great grand opening. By the way, Weissman had his little son out there on a skateboard, and it was very, very nice. And you all had to see the manager, Mike Shahada. He had on his skate shorts. He had on his skate shoes, his socks, his shirt, and he told me he was wearing his son's clothing. And by the way, his skateboard should be put in the Museum of Ancient History. It was about 25 pounds in solid wood, and so he challenged any of the skateboarders to even try to ride that skateboard.
That's the type of skateboards they had when I was teenagers.
It's about this thick, and it's like oak. And it's I mean, it takes a crane to lift it, but it was great to see it. So anyway, congratulations. Also, the chamber installation was really nice, and I know we said congratulations to Tony, but what I would like to do is just give a huge compliment to Jerome Williams for his year as the chairman of the Chamber of Commerce. And boy, what a year. It was a tough, tough year, and he just rose to the occasion, and he stood strong. And I have to say, Jerome, I'm so proud of you. You really met the challenges head on, and you just represented the Chamber and the city very, very well. So thank you to Jerome. Last Friday, I was a panel speaker at, it's called Ethics in the Media Conference, and I was in fact, I had to be at University of Miami by 8 o'clock in the morning, so just remind me why I say yes to these things again. But it was really interesting, and it was a lot of fun to do this panel speaking, and it was, there was different breakouts, and we had someone who actually was a publisher of a paper, then you had a PIO of the county, and then you have a mayor of a city. So you had a different sampling. And so we all got to kind of air how we felt about the media. And it was very, very good. Yeah. It was fun. Also, Councilman Sierra and I participated in the Walk Safe event, which actually is being encouraged by the Metropolitan Planning Organization to encourage kids to get back out and walk to school again. And so we did this Walk Safe event, and it was great. And again, congratulations to Tony Garcia for being the new chamber chair. Yes, Mr. Manager?
Mayor, council members, regarding the skate park, I also like to thank the chief and his staff,
yes,
because the police department also was a participant in making it happen financially, and also in working with Robert Landon.
If it wasn't for the forfeiture funds from the police department, that skate park wouldn't be there. So absolutely, thank you, Mr. Manager. And I want to thank everybody, and again, also, please remind everybody, 2 weeks from tomorrow, go out and vote, and absolutely exercise your right to vote and your responsibility to vote. Thank you so much. With no further business to attend to, this meeting is adjourned. Good night. God bless.